Imagine pushing yourself up from couches prepared for a quick stroll, and your calves tremble as though they've just ran a marathon. But you only tolerated that wobbling isn't limited to old age. It can also be your muscles' silent SOS, and their foods you seem to be safe may really sabotages millions of people every day. More than 60 seek for a sugary treat in an attempt to eat well, and then question why they're halfway down. Legs Burn. Corridor, we're shedding light on 5 vibrant, innocent-looking fruits that can flood if consumed improper sugar excess in your circulation here. Potassium or take control of your electrolytes until you feel as like your legs noodles that are overdonacandles may be added to the cake with age, but itis not required to take the spring from in a few minutes. We'll take your step stroll through the scientific traps concealed inside those. You know snacks, and I'll demonstrate easy swaps for you, with timing strategies to ensure you maintain each a tiny bit of strength in your stepromise. Simply a nice conversation. No lectures. If you're in love, over the kitchen table's full health advice without fine medical terminology. Press the like button. Please ring the bell on health and subscribe. 365 to ensure you never pass up the opportunity to sty as we proceed. Please leave a remark and let me know which fruit you most frequently nibble on deal respond to your inquiries. I'm personally prepared to shield your legs from the first cunning criminal. Take a look at the yellow man with speckles. Your counter is ripening and it smells wonderful. It appears innocuous, but when it's at its peak, it can knock you off balance. Balance electrolytes more quickly than you can see cramp. Let's reveal. The reality about ripe bananas are beginning to appear now, you know. That tender, delicious banana resting on your brown streaks on the counter, it's tempting. Particularly when you're ironing for something simple and fast. But this is what most people are unaware of. The juicy banana, as it was filled with potassium, has the ability to subtly deplete strength if you're not. Straight out of your legslets, carefully dissected as a group, the starch in bananas ripens into simple sugars, which is why ripe bananas are sweeter than other fruits. A ripe banana may include as much as 17 grams of sugar, and its glycemic index indicates that can reach a maximum of 65 based on how if it's ripe. It can increase your blood sugar more quickly than you would anticipate elderly. Particularly those managing prediabetes or diabetes. An abrupt increase may result in unenergy collision, and when it occurs usually, it first appears in the legs. Weariness or even slight shakings walking now feels like a hassle because of that. This is where things become more serious. Bananas contain around 120 milligrams of potassium. Mg per fruit, which is not an issue for most healthy persons. But for the elderly, particularly those with high blood pressure drugs such as ACE inhibitors or potassium-preserving diuretics that are additional potassium, can quickly accumulate in your kidneys. Processed potassium and the kidneys as we age function naturally deteriorates when blood potassium levels rise, as a hyperkalemia is a condition that you can experience numbness and muscle weakness, a erratic heartbeat, and thus vulnerability national generally begins in your legs. The Kidney Foundation cautions that elevated bananas and other potassium-rich fruits should be consumed in moderation, particularly by individuals with diminished renal function. Ripe bananas were even mentioned as a fruit to limit for people who are treating kidney-related problems, so even if you're feeling well, your kidneys are becoming slower than seems that those everyday bananas might be shifting your equilibrium incorrectly, and this is an additional layer of banana sugar increase that is followed by a decrease in blood sugar can interfere with the sodium in your electrolytes, calcium, magnesium, which is necessary for nerve impulses and muscle contraction if they change or dip too quickly, which leads to may resemble an unexpected cramp, tremor, or strange time when your leg just don't appear to be cooperating. So, if you love, what can you do instead? Don't worry, bananas, you don't have to just make two and give them up completely. Minor adjustments first. Pick bananas that are still yellow with some green in them. A less ripe fruit has less sugar and a milder impact on your blood. Second, combine it with a sauce of a tablespoon of healthful fat or protein, a handful of nuts, or peanut butter. This reduces the rate at which sugar is released and provides the energy your muscles need to bananas are actually what you need to know, are not horrible. However, the timing and manner in which yaoyating them makes a huge impact, particularly after age 60. When you take care of your like the sage-old machine that it is, the body bananas and other basic fruits can bear supporters rather than your. Challenge Jessica, now that we've separated let's examine banana's true nature. Observe something wearing a tropical crown and claims to revitalize you, however may be subtly causing joint inflammation and sending your sugar into overdrivelets. Have a conversation. The pineapple is delicious, golden, and rich in tropical taste. It's the fruit that has the texture of a little you're on vacation. Sweet, zesty, and revitalizing. But for those of us over 60, particularly if your legs feel a pineapple that is stiff or exhausted, may be doing more damage than benefit, and it all begins with its actions throughout your body. Let's speak after you have a bite. Roughly 1 cup of fresh pineapple sugar servings has roughly 16 grams of sugar, and 21 g of carbohydrates. Doesn't seem like much. Ridiculous at first, but then you realize that the glycemic index of pineapples 5,966. Depending on the level of ripeness, these certainly places it in the moderate to high range, which can increase your blood sugar levels really rapidly, and when your blood sugar fluctuates, like a roller coaster, your vitality declines along with it. Seniors frequently experience those decreases in legs feeling lethargic, unsteady, or simply less stable than you would 10 minutes. Agalates now include the hidden layer. Pineapple's ability to cause inflammation. Bromelain is an enzyme that some claim reduces inflammation, which is accurate in specific dosages and formats, but here's the twist for certain individuals, particularly those with chronic joints or sensitive stomach problems, that bromelain can aggravate mild allergic reactions are triggered by the stomach or possibly exacerbate inflammation, particularly when ingested in big quantities. If you have ever overindulged in fruit pineapple and experienced that strange scorching feeling in your throat or mouth, that's imaging what bromelain might do at work. Be causing harm to your nerves or joints, particularly if you currently reside with inflammation or pain in the arthritic nerves in it. Doesn't end at your feet or knees. The acidity of pineapples might also irritate you if consumed on an empty stomach, which is when a lot of elderly people enjoy snacking that can impede the process of digestion, because swelling and disrupt your body's capacity to take up minerals such as calcium and magnesium are vital minerals for bone stability and muscular contraction. Your muscles won't be properly absorbed, are less effective, and your legs may feel heavier than they ought to after anything as easy as strolling to the mailbox. And this is a serious warning sign if you take bromelain. It can intensify blood thinners effects and even engage with certain antibiotics if you're on medication such as aspirin or warfarin every day, and you consume a bowl of pineapple with the belief that it's a nutritious treat, that you may be consuming more of your chance of getting bruises or muscular discomfort, particularly in your lower body when the rate of circulation is already slower with age. What else can you do? First, keep the pineapple fresh because you adore it. Canned, which frequently contains additional sugars. Then watch how much you eat. Little, only a few pieces, and always with food, not by itself. And at last, pay heed. Follow the cues from your body. If your joints feel more rigid, may experience more leg cramps, that's not your thing after pineapple. Imagination. Perhaps it's time to select fruits with less acidic and sugary than blueberry saltrovie. Kiwis are kinder to your blood sugar and muscles now that you understand how something as happy as pineapple might be subtly undermining your strength in the legs. Let's turn and let's look at another tropical classic. It's flavorful, bright, and silky. However, its high sugar content can harm your body, similar to a freight train. It's time that we discuss. The name alone conjures up images of mango. Juicy slices on sunny summer afternoons with the deep golden hue that seems like a lot of sunshine on your plate. It's the blessed tropical dessert. But when you're over 60 and having trouble inflammation of energy or power of the legs, that mango may be silently creating stuff even worse. This is why 1 cup of ripe mango slices provide around 25 grams of sugar that is almost identical To the sugar heat is a tiny chocolate bar. It additionally provides more than 99 calories and nearly 23 grams of carbs that may be provided via sugar rush, a quick rise. But it's short-lived. What comes next is that recognizable crash, your legs feel heavier and your energy levels diminish. Basic activities such as getting up or after climbing a few stairs. It seems like pressing through the sand, and this isn't. On regarding the energy that was released after a sugar increase by a precipitous decrease does more than only cause your emotions. It causes severe inflammation in your joints and muscles. Scientific research has indicated that diets rich in natural sugar, fructose is present in mangoes, can raise signs of inflammation in the body, particularly TNF-alpha and IL-6 with time. This kind of persistent low-level inflammation may make things more difficult for your muscles to heal, and even speed up disintegration of muscles, a phenomenon known as sarcopenia, a condition that is already concerning as we become older. Let's add more mangoes. Contain little to moderate amounts of fiber. Only about 2.6 grams per cup, meaning that sugar is quickly absorbed by your bloodstream, as opposed to fruits that have greater. Mangoes don't have the same fiber as apples or pears. Reduce the rate at which the harmful sugar is released. About your blood vessels, as when blood sugar levels rise too rapidly, it puts your arteries strain and the blood flow to your feet and legs can suffer over time, which harms the small nerves and veins that facilitate movement easily. If you've ever experienced a stranger tingling sensation in your calves or saw that legs doze off more frequently, that circulation as a result of frequent sugar increase might contribute to the puzzle. So let's remembering allergies could surprise you. Mangoes and you are both members of the same plant family as the ureal compound poison ivy. Mango skin contains a substance that can it rashes or even edema in delicate people. If your body responds with an immunological reaction each time a mango is consumed, particularly if your lips are tingling or your lips swell, which is contributing to fine inflammatory burden that you're already keeping, that background consistentia energy is depleted by inflammation and reduces the strength of your muscles. Even if what should you do since it's subtle? Love mangoes. Cutting isn't the solution. Taking them out completely, yet strategically don't overeat. Consider half on ever eat a mango or a few slices of it on an empty stomach, alone rather than in a pair it with Greek yogurt or a few almonds. So you can obtain some nutritious protein and fat to reduce blood sugar levels. And whether you've seen any skin irritability or exhaustion following a mango meal, it'd be worthwhile to take a step back and paying attention to what your body tells you. Mangoes are currently followed by another fruit that appears innocent and charming, but has been connected to some startling consequences in older adults, particularly when consumed without food. Let's discuss Liteki tiny in the stomach. It's aromatic and incredibly delicious. In sweets, fruit salads, and occasionally literally out of the sugary syrup canet is frequently used as a mildly reviving treat, but especially for senior citizens, those who struggle with fluctuations in blood sugar levels like muscular weakness can be dangerous. Little fruit concealed behind a charming grin. This explains why LCHEs are crammed with quick approximately 29 grams of sugar per cup of fiber, but only about 2.5 grams. That indicates that eating them causes a spike in blood sugar almost immediately through your system if you eat them by yourself, particularly in the afternoon, or when not eating you may suddenly feel blood in your veins. Sugar slump in a matter of hours, and when that drop occurs, it hits hard and leaves. Your legs are shaky and your energy level is low. Your mind is clouded and zapped, but there is more to the tale than just the techie. A natural poison is present in sugar. Methylene cyclopropyl MCPG glycine is a substance that inhibits the capacity of the organism to generate glucose when required, particularly when your blood sugar is already modest, but in severe situations. This has caused hazardous several medical publications on hypoglycemia from Southeast Asia, and India have recorded cases of lychee incidentally caused by hypoglycemia when children who were malnourished and consumed lychee without eating a healthy lunch. They ended up seizing or perhaps in a coma because to extremely low blood sugar. And in these situations, the same risk is present for youngsters participating. To senior citizens who eat or skip meals gently, followed with a Liteki snack, the liver doesn't react as fast as it. Your muscles don't store as much as they formerly did. A lot of glucose so that your body has less reserves. So what happens when blood sugar levels fall? Does that imply that the glucose in your legs is fuel for your muscles when levels drop your strength? And muscle coordination could make you feel lightheaded, unsteady, or even trembling in the knees just after consuming an apparently innocuous fruitful, elderly diabetic insulin or medicine. The risk is even greater because you're already handling getting Liteki to blood sugar firmly on. Moreover, particularly on an empty stomach feels like a dry match. Grass, as well as can look key if you're consuming. There's more to be concerned about. With those variants are frequently covered in syrup. One tiny can doubles the sugar load. Could have about 40 grams of sugar. Your whole intake as advised for that isn't a snack. Rather, it's a metabolic shock over time, often with sugar strikes such as those help to inflammation, poor blood flow, and less ability to use your calves and thighs require constant blood flow and energy to maintain your equilibrium and mobility. Then with sugar and they lost their advantage, but there's excellent news. You don't need to give up lychee completely, but you must be astute about it if you appreciate it so much that you devour a couple bites as dessert. Never as a snack in and of itself, and always pair it with a healthy meal, something that is complex. Carbohydrates and protein so that your body is protected if you've either had abrupt weakness or faintness in the legs. Especially after consuming fruit-like and other tropical ones are your body requesting assistance. Let's proceed to that appears so small and naive you may not be aware of it. But behind its more sugar is hidden by wrinkled tiny skin. Potassium and sodium than your body may be all set. For example, when we discuss raisins, they really little chewy and have been for good reason. It's considered nature's sweets. Raisins, those delicious wrinkly morsels of trail mix cereal contains dried grapes, bowls, as well as baked into your preferred cookies. But for people over 60, especially if you have ever experienced leg pain. Cramp, swell, or collapse after eating, perhaps raisins aren't as harmless as they. Let's begin with the sugar narrative, shall we? Now, all the water in the raisins has dried out. Is gone, but the concentrated sugar remains in only a few. Roughly 1 to 4 cup yields around 28 to 30 grams of sugar. That is almost equivalent to a can of Coke, and you may be consuming it in the belief that it's a nutritious snack. But the worst part is furthermore, raisins have a high glycemic load, indicating that they enter your bloodstream. Similar to a sugar explosion. A sudden surge and produce a rapid increase in your blood. Sugar levels can crash just as fast. And when a crash occurs, the energy from your muscles, especially your legs since your entire body is carried by them. When you start to wobble after eating that heavy, leisurely walk or your thighs are weak. Yet there's an additional twist that most folks don't frequently hear about: potassium. Excess. Bananas are known to contain potassium. However, did you realize that there are almost 3 many times more per cup? Yes. 1 cube of seedless raisins includes as much as 100 to 200 tons of potassium milligrams. And if your kidneys aren't functioning properly as effectively as they once did, which is typical as we get older, that potassium can begin to accumulate in your blood. Fine fact, the National Kidney Foundation cites raisins as a food high in potassium, that those suffering from long-term kidney illness or people who take blood pressure medication should be strictly avoided. If you're on ACE inhibitors, limit either have renal disease or spironolactone. The bowl of nutritious raisins may be more detrimental than beneficial, so let's remember the calories from the raisins as well. Very dense. For 100 are packed in only 1 cup, 500 calories frequently without causing you to feel full, which is an issue for two foremost. If you're keeping an eye on your toe, reduce the strain on your knees. Use weight. And high-calorie foods such as raisins can infiltrate and hinder you. And second, being overweight means being overweight. Tension on your legs that may make it worse, weariness and diminished steadiness. So, if you enjoy, what should you do? You don't have to remove the raisins entirely, but you must provide them treatment. Like a garnish rather than a snack, add a few over your oatmeal in the morning, or combine the Minto, a lush green salad that is packed in fiber, protein and greens, but refrain from consuming them either directly from the box or by the handful, particularly not while you're hungry. Drink plenty of water because raisins get dehydrated by nature, and consuming large quantities of them without your muscles can expel enough fluids when you're thirsty for electrolytes. Usually, cramps are more severe in your feet at night or calves merely when you're attempting to go to sleep. After seeing how 5 common fruits, including those with labels nutritious, can stealthily erode your let's put it all together with leg strength. And discuss what you can accomplish first. Today to live better and move more powerfully. So, let's start with your basic takeaway. Eat these fruits mindfully and pair them with protein in smaller portions, or fiber, then pay attention to your body. If your legs feel heavier after eating, if you observe more, your energy levels plummet. Cramping are silent indicators that the nicest aspect is that you can change. Doesn't need to be harsh or noisy. You don't need to change everything in your life. You only need to manufacture a few in a single day. Minor decisions regularly. Perhaps it's picking half a rather than a full banana. Perhaps it's swapping fresh blueberries for raisins, or perhaps it's simply understanding what works better than it was for you today. Yesterday is strong enough on its own. If this video helped you see or provided clarification, something that you hadn't before, left to tell me in the comments below which of the say read that fruit surprised you the most. Each and every message, and I would love to listen to your tale. And if you'd like more health advice supported by research to remain resilient, observant, and self-sufficient following 60, then remember to give this video a like and sign up for Health 365. Your path to better living doesn't have to be difficult. It simply must be yours. Remain strong and steady, and see you in the upcoming video.